Good morning, y'all. It's another beautiful day at Camp Semper K9, as you can see. It's about 70 degrees this morning at 7 o'clock. And I'm going to shoot a garden tour for you guys today and show y'all some new things happening in the garden this week. Progress on some of our items that I share every week in the garden tour. And the progress we've made on our back beds, you can see them back there. Hopefully our high tunnel will be up by the end of the weekend. So let's get in the garden, y'all. I know I always start in these front beds, but I'm a creature of habit and I feel kind of off if I don't start in the same place. So as you can see, this lemon cucumber plant is starting to get some sort of leaf spot. It's still producing lemon cucumbers. I may just need to trim those limbs off. I'm not sure. I need to do a little research to make sure I'm not going to kill the plant if I pull some of the stems and leaves off. I don't think I will, but... And yesterday I shared these Moon and Stars watermelons are starting to have their little spots. These will be all over the plant, and they will also be on the fruit, on the watermelon itself. So it'll be a dark watermelon with these little specks on it, that hence the stars. So peaches and cream corn still coming strong. You can see the fruit set coming on the on the lemon cucumbers here. And like I said, we have some little cucamelons finally coming here on this front cucamelon plant. I haven't specifically seen any fruit set on my Kajari melon up here in the front, but it's kind of hard to tell because the vines for the Kajari melon and the lemon cucumber look so similar. The flowers even look similar, so we will just get one if we get one. This zinnia bloomed yesterday. Only flower in the front beds to have bloomed right now besides the nasturtiums. So let's go inside. This garden just is so magical, and when you grow something yourself that's magical like this, it's just a huge sense of pride that's really hard to explain. So I shared a couple days ago on one of my garden updates that we have ears of corn coming finally. Just a couple. I'll take it though. There's another one that's about to come up here. No silks on that one yet. So, looking for any damage or anything like that. A little bird. A little woodpecker. Look at him back there. Can you see him? He's hiding from me. Look at him there. Come eat some of these bugs. Speaking of bugs, since we have put those Japanese beetle traps up, very few beetles on our beans. I see one right up here at the very top already. Definitely can't reach that, so I'll be going and shaking the bean tunnel arch here in a moment and trying to get any bugs down, but definitely seen an improvement. As you can see, we do have a lot of damage. There's a spider over there. A lot of damage on our bean leaves because of Japanese beetles. At first it was cucumber beetles. They're still here, but they're just not on my beans as much. They're still out here on my beans. I've picked some of them off, but for the most part, it has been the Japanese beetles. So definitely don't want to be under this thing when I shake it. Saw a couple beans fall, beetles fall, but also saw a couple of blooms fall. Did I get that guy off? Yeah, he's gone. So he fell. I don't know if he fell on the ground, but anyway, I have some green beans that I need to harvest, so I'll probably harvest as I go. And like I said, I want to get the garden watered this morning. I actually might wait until this evening. I don't know. I do this every time. I mean, it's still, like, I'm looking here, this area is still okay, and I've got some beans over here too. This area is still okay as far as needing to be watered. This side doesn't need to be watered. And that guy's got to get picked today. And looking around, this area may be okay for one more day, because I really need to let my tomato plants go one more day without water if I can, mainly because I've had some end blossom rot issues with the tomatoes, and I want to make sure, I've got to get these okra picked. Goodness gracious, I'll have to look back at my video I shot last night, because okra grow fast anyway, but wow, looks like we're about to be eating okra soon. Children will not mind that. I knew I should have harvested that chamomile last night. I think I may be a little too off. Look like powdery mildew on my cantaloupe. Picked a lot of squash bugs, mature squash bugs, off of these plants yesterday. Still trying to decide if I just leave this spot open or if I pull this purple basil and put something else right here in the corner. So I actually forgot that I was going to be filming a garden tour. I just started doing my normal walkthrough and got sidetracked. So yeah, maybe I'll do it this way and then we'll just walk through. Here I have the tomato jungle. We also have some potatoes growing here. This is the squash bed, and we also have Tanya's pink potted bush beans in this bed with them as well. So they're squash, yellow crookneck, early straight neck, that's a yellow variety, and black beauty zucchini are in this bed here. Here we have blue lake pole beans and white half runner green beans on this side. I also have amongst these weeds some good mother stallard and orca beans that are dry beans planted in here. In this area we have Christmas pole beans. Right here we have strawberries, heart of gold cantaloupe, have a couple of okra plants with golden zucchini and gray zucchini, some chives, nasturtiums, chamomile. In this bed I have okra, a lot of different varieties growing in there. I even succession planted, you can see them popping up some, and we'll get a little closer in a moment. Some other variety, I think the other variety I put in there are Silver Queen and then Clemson Spineless. We have lots of different types of pepper plants, and I'll share those with y'all in a moment too. That big bushy thing right there is a green tomatillo. Right over here is our melon bed and pumpkin patch, along with some okra mixed in there and birdhouse gourds, and of course you can see the sunflowers topping the top. Here we have Silver Queen corn. I also have some glass gem, one row of glass gem corn mixed in the middle, and I have some squash and zucchini plants spread throughout as well. Let's see, I don't know if you can see a whole lot else. Have some Roma tomato plants here with my herbs, and then I have some cherry tomato varieties here. Along with, back in this corner over here, I have cabbage, tomatoes, peppers, and okra. On that very back panel, I have Kajari melon, artichoke, razzmatazz grape, golden midget watermelon, and Tanya's pink potted pole bean, or bush beans that are kind of pole beans. Let's see what else we have I can share. Oh yeah, look at these though. Hot pink green beans, y'all. They're pretty good too. Not anything, you know, super, like you bite into them and you're like, oh my gosh, these are the best green beans ever. They taste like green beans. They are really good though. We cooked them for dinner the other night, along with some dragon's tongue bush beans and just our Blue Lake. So I trimmed back a lot of my basil here. Both of the basils were looking a little rough. My nasturtiums are going to start dying out soon because of the heat. But I have lots of peppers. I have a little bell pepper over there too. You can see it right there. Lots of different varieties of peppers in here. Probably about 6 different varieties. This guy will not stay off of my one pepper plant that I have right here. He's still thriving. Oh, there's a pepper on him. This is supposed to be a bell pepper though, I think. Oh no, it's not. I changed it out. What did I change it out with? Let's see if I kept the marker. I'll have to go back and look at some more videos because I don't remember what I changed it out with. I don't know. Pimento sweet is what I have here. I don't know. But I've got lots of peppers here. Really exciting. So yesterday I went through and trimmed a lot of my tomato plants. I'm seeing I need to trim a lot more. This side of the bed gets a lot more sun than the rest. So you can see a lot of my lima beans that I have mixed in here have died off. I do have a lot of lima beans mixed in that I will be able to harvest, and I'm still producing beans on my lima beans. You can see some of my tomato plants, the blossoms are dying. It's just getting really hot. Little baby, you ready to come off? There you go. Almost all of my tomato plants, I think every single one, I went through and looked the other day, have fruit set now. So I have lots of different varieties in here. On this end we have several red cherry tomato, and you can see all of these are the red cherry tomatoes. There are just lots of them in here. This guy just does not want to be contained. We also have the next variety is Honey Delight, which will create a yellow tomato. Then I also have Baby Boomer. This is a hybrid cherry. There are lots and lots of fruit on these plants. We also have Long Keeper. I think this is the beefsteak. I'm just looking because the tomatoes look fluted. I'd have to go over there and look. Maybe they are Long Keepers. I don't know. Long Keepers are supposed to hold up longer on the counter after you harvest them. Whoa. This giant, giant sunflower. Bumped into me. I was scared for a second. Other varieties I have in here: Arkansas Traveler, German Johnson, like I said, Beefsteak, Mr. Stripey, and Lemon Boys. Right here we have a Golden Jubilee heirloom tomato, and I have a Beefsteak heirloom tomato too. This one and the one beside it is Dances with Smurfs. Here I have basil and lemon verbena. I just harvested some of the plants off of those. I have some volunteer tomato plants in here. They look like they are going to be a grape variety. I keep saying I need to go back and look to see what I had planted here last year that was a grape variety, because that's what these are. Lots of marigold, zinnias, and nasturtiums in here, and my zinnias just started blooming. Next year I'll be planting more zinnias. Over here I have burpless hybrid cucumber, like a slicer, and Armenian snake cucumber. This is a Black Prince heirloom. This is a German Johnson heirloom tomato. Here's our tomatillos, always a favorite. I see some of our Russian honeybees bouncing around looking for some pollen. Trying to see if he landed. I wanted to get a little picture of him. He's buzzing around looking for something. Here are our golden zucchini and gray zucchini. They have kind of been attacked by squash bugs, so I don't know how much more fruit they are going to be producing. They still have lots of fruit here on this side, but the others are struggling a little bit, and I just recently clipped a lot of their leaves off. This one was starting to get powdery mildew a couple weeks ago, and I clipped the stems that had the powdery mildew on them, and it did not spread to the plant, so I was grateful for that. We have our okra. These are emerald velvet. There's 3 here, along with the nasturtiums, and then our strawberries, and a bunch of weeds that we're growing too, that we just can't combat. It's about this time of year that the weeds take over. Look at him. So beautiful. I'll never get tired of watching this. Never. So beautiful. And they're doing a lot of great things for me, so yay for the pollinators. Right here I have a Tabasco pepper along with some nasturtiums. I have boxwood basil and lemon thyme. This plant is, I think this is sunrise bumblebee. Yeah, this is a sunrise bumblebee. It's like a cherry tomato variety. I'm still holding this bean. I know. I didn't put it in the basket. These are Dances with Smurfs, these 2. This one's getting some leaf curl here. And then a couple of weeds mixed in with some basil and a marigold here. Let's see. So this bed is pretty exciting because we have some red tomatoes down here, y'all. I'm so excited. Last night I pulled a hornworm off of my pink brandywine, and I was just talking about pulling it because a lot of the blossoms are dying off here. The fruit that is coming in is looking pretty rough, and this plant has struggled since the beginning. I mean, I'm sure these cucamelons growing on it are not helping. That was my fault for planting them so closely. I thought I could contain them on this trellis, but I just couldn't. So here is another one. Oh, it's blossom and rot. Anyway, but here are my beefsteak tomatoes. I grew these from seed, and these are my very first tomatoes to be turning. I am just so excited. I've kind of been babying this plant because it had so many great fruits coming in on it. The only problem is that it's not grown any higher than this, so I'm not sure if I accidentally topped it somehow. I don't remember pulling anything off of this plant. I don't even remember really pruning it much, except for right at the bottom and then pulling some suckers off. So I'm wondering if in that process I accidentally clipped some of the suckers. I don't know. I'm not really sure. But my San Marzano paste tomatoes are starting to blush too. So this is really exciting. I've got some fruit coming in on these peppers. I have some more eggplant growing back there. You can see it. So that's an Orient Charm eggplant. These are hot salsa peppers. These cucumbers are kind of a bust. The pickling, they're supposed to be Boston pickling, and they are just not. I had Bragger and Boston pickling, and then I have some lemon cucumbers. Those look like they are coming in. Ooh, that one needs to be harvested. But I'm really disappointed in my cucumbers here. That's why I planted them in a couple other spots, and then I have some planted back here in the high tunnel as well. My jalapeno still producing some peppers. I've harvested 3 off of that one. So it's got some Really good fruit coming in here. My Roma tomatoes are still going, even though a majority of them had end blossom rot. And it may just be that when we were first watering the garden, we didn't have a water source out here quite yet. So we were probably over watering, or it was just due to the inconsistent watering. Once we got our well fully functioning, we might have overwatered a little bit just because we were so excited to have running water out here. And I have some more thyme and rosemary here. I also have, it says sweet banana pepper, but I actually just think it's a sweet pepper. I don't think it's a sweet banana pepper. These are sun gold cherry tomato. This plant is easily 9 feet tall. I'm gonna here soon start training it to go over the trellis. We have 2 red cherry tomatoes here and another sun gold. And this is supposed to be a pineapple cherry, but I mean, it's fluted and it's big already, so this is definitely not a cherry tomato. I'm not sure what variety it is. That's the first fruit that's set on it. The rest of the blossoms look like they're dying off, so I don't know. I have a couple up here that are still going, but we'll see. Right here in this little section, I have a giant zinnia growing, but I also have some tomatoes that I planted in here. We have blueberries here that's just now starting to set fruit. Oh, and it's even, look, it's already turning. This one has anthocyanin. Am I saying that right? I think I'm saying it right. So these will turn blue. You can even see it here on the stem. There's some blue in it, but this little plant, the fruit is already starting to turn blue. That's really exciting. I have a get stuffed tomato. This one back here in the corner is Sunrise Bumblebee. This is green tomatillo. I have 2 plants here because you have to have 2 for them to cross-pollinate. This is Super Sweet 100 cherry tomato. Got to get that one tied back up. This one is Pink Jazz, a rainbow, which I have a lot of those varieties over here, but look how sad they are. I should have waited until the high tunnel was constructed, but it's okay. I'm not that worried about it. Get this potato back over here. We have Black Beauty. And what is that last one? Oh, that was Sunrise Bumblebee. I already said that one. And then we have 2 russet potatoes over here that we're growing in this bucket. So right here in this bed, I have chocolate sprinkles. I have 2 tomato plants with chocolate sprinkles. I have an early flame jalapeno. Candy cane peppers, Mad Hatter pepper plant here, a Gypsy Sweet, which I harvested a pepper off of it and we roasted it with our vegetables the other day and it was so delicious. My cabbage are still growing. I put these in early March. They're still hanging in here. These are Savoy and Flat Dutch, and then I also have some okra mixed in here with them. I have okra mixed in over here too. I can't remember what variety off the top of my head. We'll be able to tell when they harvest. And then I have a couple okra plants that are popping up on the side that I planted well over a month and a half ago. I'm hearing all these things coming out of the tree. It's freaking me out a little bit. Okay, look at my artichoke. It is going to bloom. I'm going to let it go to bloom, but look how beautiful. And the leaves are dying, just ignore that part, but so pretty. Kind of weird. The Kajari melons that I have here, I have 2 growing here, along with the Razzmatazz grape, Tanya's pink potted bush bean, Jade Cross Brussels sprouts. They're still doing okay despite the heat. I mean, I guess they are. Have a sunflower that's kind of wonky because I planted my Brussels sprout on top of it and then it finally decided it wanted to germinate, so I just left it. This is golden midget watermelon growing up on this trellis, and it'll be a personal size melon, and it'll be hanging from this trellis once it finally gets up there. Over here I have almost identical to the other side. I do have some yard long noodle bean, and an okra in this bed. And I cleaned up my mess here beside the compost, so we've got to do some work on our compost to make sure that we have some good compost for our garden next year or this fall. Look in here. Busy bees. Thank you. We have lots of gourds coming out. Just got to keep these babies alive. I've not had very good success with gourds. I was talking about that last night in one of my videos. Lots of pollinators this morning. My pumpkin's still doing well here. Last night, was it last night or this morning? I shared a video, a day before yesterday. I made a video of this new technique that I was trying to remove squash bug eggs with duct tape, and it worked. I was having a hard time because my squash bug, when I was pulling the squash bugs off, I was accidentally breaking a lot of the leaves, and I was getting frustrated. So I was doing some research on the actual squash bug itself and what its growing life cycle and growth cycle and all of that stuff is, and how they operate. And I saw that someone in a forum had said they use duct tape to peel the eggs off and squish them from the leaf. And it worked so great. I don't know why I didn't think about doing that. I kind of feel stupid because I didn't think about doing that. But anyway, so it worked. So that's how I'm going to do it from now on. I'm going to have to support this guy soon because he's getting kind of big. So I'll have to do a little hammock there. And I have okra getting ready to come here. Look at that. So beautiful. Don't ask me what variety these are. I've talked about this in several other videos where I kept putting okra in this bed and kept putting okra in and kept putting okra in. Nothing would germinate. So I put several different varieties in. I should be able to tell once it gets a little bigger. It's not Clemson Spineless, so it's either Emerald Velvet or Old Alabama Red. Lots of melons though. And I did notice that this little golden midget watermelon is kind of golden colored. So maybe they're not all, maybe not all of them are green like this. Or like the one over in the other trellis, because there's another one. But I had this one that was golden. So I don't know. We'll see. This is my first time growing this one. And this damage you're seeing on my pumpkin vine is from neem oil. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but it's from neem. I might come in and clip them off. And I also have some okra here, same thing. And the neem got on that too. I wonder if it was just at the bottom of the barrel or something and it was just bad. So I have several okra here mixed in. I also have a Charleston Gray watermelon. I have fairy tale pumpkins back here. These pumpkins I'm growing are jack-o'-lantern pumpkins. That's the variety. And the big watermelon you see are Georgia rattlesnake. I also have a Kajari melon growing in here. I have several right here in this pile. And then golden midget watermelon. And then the Charleston Gray. I also have along this edge right here wee bee little pumpkins, and they're going to grow and vine up, or the thought is they're going to vine up on this trellis, and it'll be real pretty with them hanging down. And I also have a Kukuzi squash over there. I don't know. Let's go check on him. Yeah, he's still doing okay. He's still doing okay right here. Move this back to make sure he gets enough sun. So, that's the melon and squash bed. I'm still holding this damn bean. Thought I had solved my problem when I got this trellis, but this guy just is bound and determined to be on the ground. Okay, let's check out these beans. So, We have the Canter Bush variety of green beans, and they are very prolific. We will be harvesting these soon. I have also harvested some of the rattlesnake bush beans. Pretty bee right there. There's a couple down here. Let me see if I can show you one. Oh, sorry, pumpkin. There's one there. So we've harvested several of those. We ate those, and I made a pot of green beans, and then I roasted some, and they were all delicious. We have, ooh, that was fast. Purple potted pole beans. I was just saying last week that we just had blossoms, and look how fast that bean is growing. So exciting. I also have on this row on the other side some more Christmas pole beans. In the middle, this part of the bed is just sad. Ignore it. I harvested the pinto beans that we had here, and it looks like I have some more to harvest along with some weeds. But we also have some more Canter bush beans here in the middle. And I have some dragon's tongue beans back there too. Also added some more of the purple potted pole beans on this side, and we still have a few pinto beans that are pushing through. Then we have our sunflowers too. Out here in this front bed, I have some good Mother Stollard pole beans growing. They're finally starting to flower. I have dead dahlias all along the edge here, along with some of my mint that looks like it's dying off. I'm not sure what's going on with that bed right there. It might be the mulch that I put in. I still have some zinnias here and my sunflowers that are still blooming. This bed is just dying off. That one's completely, the flowers have died off there too. Okay, y'all, that is all for this part of the garden. So I'm going to walk back over to the raised bed and go through my dead tomato plants. They're not completely dead yet, but some of them are. And that's totally my fault for thinking they were ready to go out. Still have some at the house, though, that I could plant there instead. And truthfully, if I wanted more tomatoes, I could just go buy some, because a lot of them are on sale right now at the local nurseries. But let's head over there, see what's going on over there, what progress we've made, since this is a garden tour, and that's part of the garden now. Right here in this little area outside of the garden, I planted some pro-cut sunflower seeds. You can see a couple of them have already started germinating. I just thought this would be pretty. It's just random. If it makes it, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Just a random planting. I thought it would be pretty when you drive up to see the sunflowers and the beans and everything. So looking out here at this dusty clay, it looks like we did get a little bit of rain last night, or a shower this morning or something, because I'm seeing some rain splatter. Okay, so this hot mess is where our high tunnel will be. We barely got it in. So as you can see, we've got some stumps here we've got to eliminate, so we'll be working on that this week. We can still put the high tunnel up with them there. It's just gonna be a pain. Here are our beds. We also have some flashing that we're gonna put on the corner of the beds here, so they're not completely finished. We also have a topper that we're gonna go back and do. That wasn't urgent for us, so we haven't done that yet. It'll have a 2x6 topper, like a spot to sit. So I'm trying to see what's going to germinate first out of my seeds that I planted. We have some Kajari melon here, and I also planted some rattlesnake pole beans along the edge. I'm going to be putting peppers in this spot once the high tunnel is put up. I have them outside hardening off right now. On this side we have purple pod. No, this is rattlesnake. This side's purple pod. Rattlesnake pole beans and purple potted pole beans on the side. I put some zucchini through here. Why can't we get compost delivered without trash in it? Wow. I sifted through this too and pulled out some plastic. And I also planted some gray zucchini and some Cocozelle zucchini. Have some cucumbers here along this side of the trellis. And I'll put peppers here as well. I also have okra planted in different spots along the edge where these dead tomato plants are. But for me to go through the tomato plants, let's go on this side. We have beefsteak, and all of these were started from seeds or propagated from suckers from plants that are already out here in the garden. Beefsteak, German Johnson, Golden Jubilee, Cherokee Purple, Pink Brandywine, Pink Jazz, Brad's Atomic Grape on both sides here, chocolate sprinkles on both sides, red cherry. The rest of these, I have a duplicate on the other side. Get Stuffed, San Marzano, Black Beauty, Sunrise Bumblebee, Dances with Smurfs, Blueberries, Berries Crazy Cherry, Sun Gold, Honey Delight, and Rainbow. And you know what? I think I am gonna crank the generator up real fast and water. What time is it? I've got to get back home. I need to at least water this section. So let me go do that now. Y'all, I bought this new water hose because I've had so many problems with my water hoses. Kinking up, tying up, getting holes. A, this thing looks like a freaking snake and it trips me out. Look at it moving. No. B, I love it because it has not kinked up, gotten to a knot, anything. I love it. It's easy to manipulate. Absolutely love it. Also, I have the irrigation system that was recommended by a lot of people in my car. So I'll try to set that up tonight so that this can get better watering, more consistent watering. But anyway, I'm going to finish up watering this and head home. So I will see y'all later. Have a great day, y'all.